When you talk about the history of Sha-Rock, you know, I was always on the front line with the best of the best. You know, from the Grandmaster Flashes and the Furious 4 to the Furious 5, on the front line with the Funky 4, the Funky 4+1. A lot of people, you know, when you talk about it, you know, they don't know that females was out there from the beginning. And I want to send a shout out to all the other females came up in the game behind me, but at the same time, they were there with me to help move this culture forward. You're just not supposed to make me laugh.
Because every time you tell her not to talk,
yeah, you're not supposed to make me laugh.
Okay, so y'all can start now. I did the lip line.
Well, right now we are in the uptown section of the Bronx, you know, at my DJ's house, DJ Breakout. The Brothers Disco held their first audition here for me and whoever else wanted to be a part of the Brothers Disco. Whenever I'm uptown or wherever I'm coming into town, this is the place that I always stay, you know, when I come to the Bronx. This is where I got my start back in 1977. I was attending high school at Evander High School in the uptown section of the Bronx, and they were holding an audition, passed out flyers. I auditioned to be or to become an MC for the Brothers Disco, and that was my start. And at the end of 1977, after the blackout, you know, I became the first female MC of hip hop culture. My crew, we had the largest sound system in the Bronx, New York. We were partying in every section of the Bronx. The Brothers Disco, the Funky 4, and the Funky 4+1, who I hail from, we went into every single person's area and we performed in that area. So we all knew who was out there. It was a battle thing for us. We did everything that we could as a group to be the best in New York City. We had made our sound system the best that any DJ had out there. We built our sound system up by having garbage can speakers. We had everything that an MC want. We had the top of the line Shure mics at that time, mic stands, and the top of the line Shure microphones that we used to carry in the white box. We challenged ourselves to be the best, and how we did that was to ensure that our sound good. And this is why people knew who we were, because we did everything we can as a group to solidify ourselves as a group, and at the same time become that battle group that was probably one of the most fierce to battle against. Back in the days when you had groups, 3-man group, 4 or 5. The Funky 4 was the catalyst of bringing in more females to join the groups of other groups. And we were all in competition with each other. But we always felt like we were the best group. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 3 and the Furious 4 felt like they were the best group. And so how we put that to the test is we used to battle each other, you know, in the early stages of hip hop, we used to battle. How we felt about each other is what we did was we said, okay, not that we don't like you, we respect you, but we still better. And we're gonna show you that we are better than you are. And so that came from rhymes and routines and the parties and, you know, just the shout outs, you know, of other, to other MCs, just showing respect. And then showing, like, when we come into the game, we come to the party, we're gonna make, we're gonna have the party goers come back, because we're gonna create an ambiance and we're gonna create a scene where you're gonna respect us, and we're gonna draw your crowd, our crowd, and everybody else's crowd. And that's what the Funky 4 did, the Funky 4+1 did, and that's what Sha-Rock did, being a part of this hip hop culture.
Three MCs or whatever, when you have brothers like Cowboy, Melly Mel, Kid Creole dominating the game in the sea of sister, you know, like Sha-Rock, that can basically go toe-to-toe with everybody else. It was amazing. It was almost like, you know, seeing a UFO. Sha-Rock was the one that took a term of a shout-out. Now, shout-outs actually began when basically if the rapper was on stage, and at that point we used to play for a lot of stick-up kids and things like that. Obviously, they used to walk up to us, basically put their hand on our neck and say, hey, yo, say so-and-so and so-and-so is in the house. That's how shout-outs really began. I know a lot of people don't know the history of that, but that's how shout-outs began. But what Sha did, and no other MC could take credit for it, she turned it into a term of endearment. No MCs, no crews, we used to never speak to each other. That's just the way it is. I know now they look at it like, you know, all old school cats get, you know, along and it's on some we are the world shit. No, it's not. You know what I mean? Back then we didn't even speak. Sha was the first one to cross the line, and actually even gave me a shout out. She used to say, Mr. Ness is a Scorpio, Mr. Ness is a Scorpio. It blew my mind to the point because no other MCs ever spoke to each other. And because of that, that made me comfortable enough to start going in their territory because I knew it was some love and respect there. So she broke down so many barriers, you know, just by giving another crew a shout out. So when you see things like on TNT now, when you see Shaq and you see everybody on CNN and they doing this shout out thing, that terms of endearment, that actually started with Sha-Rock.
Hello, this is MC Sha-Rock. I am at the Bronx Ball, my first one, and I'm super excited. It's raining, I got my umbrella. Let's go inside and see what's going on.
Peace, it's your boy, the grandest of them all, even your mama fall for Grandmaster Caz from the legendary Cold Crush Brothers, Boogie Down Bronx, New York City, pioneer, architect, icon. What else can I say, baby? I've seen the whole 50. And since we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of this culture we call hip hop, we cannot say hip hop without saying Sha-Rock, all right? She's the queen, she's the first, numero uno, primera. And we've been through the trenches together, you know what I mean? She's an innovator, a pioneer. She made her way through all the guys. It was a male-dominated culture, and she's been a shining example for every other female to come afterward. Everybody owes homage to MC Sha-Rock, first female MC.
If you love hip-hop, make some noise! Every year during Bronx Week, we officially give the key to luminaries, pioneers, trailblazers. And because this year is the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, we knew we had to give it to the creators, the founders who started this genre of music known as hip-hop. Sha-Rock, the first female MC of hip-hop, and Cold Crush Brothers. Thank you for your boldness, for your story, for your skills. It is an honor to present Sha-Rock with the official key to the borough and Cold Crush Brothers. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Hip-Hop 50. Wanna say ho? Say ho! Yeah! Yeah! This is MC Sha-Rock, the first female MC of hip-hop culture. I started back in 1976 as a B-girl. I was a nomadic B-girl that traveled all over the Bronx, New York City. Now, when you hear the educators in college talking, right, the first thing they want to say is that the Bronx was burning, and that's a damn lie. The Bronx was resilient. Yeah, there were some areas out in the South Bronx that may have condemned buildings, but you're talking about Uptown. You're talking about West Side, where Kool Herc was from. You're talking about the East Side. The Bronx wasn't burning. We were resilient. We created a $1 billion business that everybody out there is benefiting from today. So I just want to say, listen, I thank you all for being participants, all the women that's on the front line, and showing that the Bronx stay top-notch, and we will continue to be the top-notch borough. Shout out to the Bronx, New York. This is MC Sha-Rock. Thank you.
I'm getting ready to 1 and 2. I'm going to speak on you the same way I spoke on you. All right. This is your time. This is your moment.
Listen, I'm the first female MC and the first woman to ever receive a key to the city of the Bronx. I made history today. Thank you, Bronx. Thank you, Bronx. Now, these are just some of the flyers, you know, of the authentic flyers of the parties that we threw back in the day. You know, I am the first woman on flyers that have over 500 authentic hip hop flyers. I'm the first woman to ever be called an MC. And these flyers that I have right here will justify that. And so, of course, you know, you have your flyers. Of course, you know, you have your word of mouth. And then you have your cassette tapes and the OJs. The OJs was somewhat similar to what the Uber and the Lyft is today. It was a luxury car service that we would call up to take us around. You could ride for $20. You'll call them up and they'll take you where you needed to go, or you can put the OJ on hold for all day. I used to put the OJ on hold whenever I go to parties. Whenever I had to perform at a party or go to somebody else's party, my driver was 100. I'll call him up. 100, where you at? Sha-Rock wants you. And this is what the dispatch will tell 100. Sha-Rock is at the Fever. Sha-Rock is at the T Connection. 100, how soon for Sha-Rock? And so with that said, and because I was a regular with 100, I became the first female MC in the history of hip hop culture to ever say an OJ driver's name on cassette tapes. You know, you had people that would go into the military, you know, like Keith Cowboy's friend, you know, that went into the military that would take cassette tapes with them. So a lot of them traveled to Germany, you know, Italy, you know, other parts of the country. We were the first groups in the history of hip hop culture to have our cassette tapes riding around in the OJs, and then later other groups came along with their cassette tapes. But this is how hip hop culture and the art of rap spread throughout New York City. We were the first hip hop group in the culture of hip hop to ever perform punk rock clubs. And this was Midtown Manhattan. You know, we were performing at the Mud Club. We was performing at the Ritz. We were performing at the Kitchen. So these were places that punk rockers used to go. And at the time, I can remember the Beastie Boys. They were being acknowledged and being honored for the VH1 honors. I didn't know this. They asked him, okay, so who is one of the groups who you follow behind? So he said it was Sha-Rock and the Funky 4+1.
I think the first hip hop show I remember coming downtown, I think was Funky 4+1 More. All of a sudden that blew all of our minds. Like, okay, this is something you could do.
We never knew that the Beastie Boys was in the crowd, right? But we did know the audience was predominantly Caucasian, white people that we used to perform for. So they used to like go crazy over what we did or just being down there. Debbie Harry from the group Blondie got word that we was that group. What she did was she asked Fat Five Freddy, who is the banging and the best group that's out there? Now we know, and I have to give them props, that Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, they were our rivals. They were good. They were our competition. So the thing is that she could have went and got them to be on Saturday Night Live, but it was told the reason why she went and got the Funky 4+1 because they had a woman. And the fact that we looked young, and hot, And so besides people seeing, what was going on in the Bronx, she wanted the world to see what was going on actually in the Bronx with these young teenagers, especially having a female. So we got the call to be on Saturday Night Live when we was on tour. We had went on the first major rap tour ever from cities to cities and cities with the Sugar Hill rap label. It was told that she wanted the Sugar Hill gang to be on Saturday Night Live because they had a hot record. But they was like, no, we want the Funky 4+1. And so they worked it out, and we were able to become the first authentic hip-hop group to ever appear on national TV, and I became the first female MC to ever be on national television.
The next group are among the best street rappers in the country. Please welcome my friends from the Bronx, the Funky 4+1 More.
It's the biz, where we just can't miss.
We just can't miss.
Where we just can't miss.
With a beat like this.
Come on, come on, come on. It's the joy.
I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Listen, what this day, MC Sha-Rock Day, means to you. To have y'all all here representing the true history and the true culture of hip-hop culture. For all you hip-hop enthusiasts, listen to the music. Let's rock together and keep hip-hop alive.
Giving my sister her flowers. She contributes so much to hip-hop that she should be recognized more.
Shout out to Sha-Rock. Shout out to Roxanne Shante. Shout out to Sha-Rock. 50 years of hip-hop.
Sha-Rock, you're a pioneer. You are the pillar of this community and hip-hop within itself.
So this sound system is the legendary sound system, the Mighty Mighty Sasquatch. This is part 2, or a continuation of the original Sasquatch. The Brothers Disco was a group that started in the Bronx. We started our journey and we're still doing what we started doing 1970s. And we're here today at Magenta Park in the Bronx celebrating Sha-Rock on Sha-Rock Day.
You mean to say that we ain't just saying that it's MC Sha-Rock Day and y'all coming out. So you saying this is legal?
We're saying it is official, legal, it's on the books. Not only did we just can't, he said forget the first Saturday, King. We're gonna announce June 3rd. So when June 3rd in the city of New York belongs to Sha-Rock Day. Sha-Rock, city of New York, let's give it a first Sha-Rock.
My journey, you know, is really was kind of crazy, but I love the fact that I was able to see the best of both worlds. When you talk about, you know, growing up in the essence of hip hop culture and the beginning of hip hop culture, and to see where it is right now, I feel like even though I may not have gotten the monetary aspects of it, but I'm rich. I'm rich in history. I'm rich in experience. I can say, I was the first to do that nobody else can say. You know, and it's not bragging, it's just that it's the truth. Because if I don't say it, somebody else gonna say it. So what they say, it's cool when they do it, but when you do it, you know what I'm saying? So listen, we're talking about the history of hip hop culture, and I think that every woman, or whether man or woman, they should always talk about their contributions that they have brought to the culture, and at the same time, show the proof.